I haven't done a review in a while, but I figured I might as well start the new year a month later with one, so here we go. This is the one. We're doing this right now. I'm Edward, and today I'll be reviewing a game known as Untitled ULC game, which is a Roblox ULC fan game that switches up its mechanics and adds a few differences that overall make it like a smoother experience. So yay. Alright, let's start off with the characters. Each character remains true to how they somewhat work in old ULC, but with a few twists here and there to keep the gameplay exciting. The first few characters have the most changes, while the others are like a little bit more, not as changed. These ones are like reworked characters, that have the most changes. I'll give a quick rundown of those characters because they're the coolest ones, so might as well start with them. The first character is Passive Sand, which works pretty well. The moveset isn't all that great, it's very weak, but that's somewhat understandable for being the first character in the game. The upgrades for him make up for it and allow him to become much stronger than his base form, especially his final upgrade where he becomes pre-Passive Sands. This is the best character in the game, and I'm calling it a character because the upgrade itself, which is the final upgrade for Passive Sands, gives it a new location, a new model, entirely new attacks, and it's just it's much better than Passive Sands in all. In fact, it's so much better that I'm gonna go out on like a limb here, and I'm gonna say that this game would do a lot better, or at least it'd be a lot cooler, if Pre-Pacifist was the starter base character rather than Passive Sands. I think he'd be a lot more fair and balanced or whatever. But, that's just kind of my opinion up there. But honestly, it's a breath of fresh air. The attacks are like super unique, and it's probably my favorite character in the entire game. Next character is Science Sands, which is a huge upgrade from regular Science Sands in old ULC. Moves allow you to switch you through different options. Orange blasters explode with that one really cool Delta Rune explosion effect. That one, I'll go with. And it's pretty well designed. The Vanilla Metatons got a redesign as well to make them look much more true to their original design, and I can actually look at them. And this character is definitely pretty fun to play as. Not much else to say here. It's pretty fun though. It's really balanced actually too. So this is probably one of the better balanced characters, I'd say. This is perfect second character. Very skill-wise, fully to use, I suppose. The final character that got a major change was Classic Sands. Classic Sands works really similar to like he did in the rework in ULC before the Sands rework, if you know what that is. Somewhat. Never mind. He uses bone jumps, lots of variants of blasters, and has a full final attack. I feel like the final attack should be the full Sands final attack like in the original game, but I understand that's not easy to recreate that, so this is pretty nice for what we have here. The character isn't super fun to play as, considering that most of its moveset is just, the casual, bone sliders, you got then just the blasters and everything, it's very casual stuff, nothing, as new as, or unique as you'd expect for a moveset. Fighting against him as a car team member is actually really cool though. It's really fun for me. I always like fighting against Classic Sands from Untitled with as the human, so that's pretty cool for me. Now when we're done with that, we can move on to some new content, the better content. Last Breath is also here as well, which is a pretty buffed and debuffed version of Sands at the same time. His moveset reuses some attacks from Classics. He doesn't offer that much variety in gameplay other than a few new moves. There's also no Phase 2 and 3, but, that doesn't really matter. It has a couple of upgrades that give it, some buffs and stuff, so I think that's pretty cool for what it is. Horror Sands also got some changes, which include a counter that stuns the player that hit you for a moment, and a passive that allows you to eat players to heal after they die, which is actually really cool. You actually get to, click the body part and then pick up the player and then just, eat it. Well, pick up the body part and eat it. There's a ton of other details and tweaks you can check out right now since the game's in the description. If you want, it's down in the description. You can go click it right now, do that thingy. But I won't get into it right now because I don't feel like it. Anyways, the characters do still need a lot more work. I'd prefer if they use original models, but using ULC's normal models is also pretty okay since I think that's kind of what the style this game's going for. One thing that really bothers me though is the animations. It's not exactly the best, but it's better than nothing. Most of Sans team doesn't have a proper rework, which makes the characters get very stale. I also really wish the characters had a lot more unique attacks and touches to make them more playable as well. But the Sans team is actually pretty fun. I really like the Sans team, which, is usually always pretty good in Sans vs. Kara games like these. The main issue, however, comes from the Kara/Human team. The Kara/Human team, or, I'm just going to call it Kara team actually, because, everyone calls it that at this point, has no new weapons at all in this game. Besides from the randomized weapon, which gives you a random weapon, but you can only equip it with a true reset, and there's no new weapons you can get from that, besides a glitch stick, which, again, it's random, so you just get a chance when, using it. All the weapons work exactly the same as it did in, the classic ULC game, or at least, super similar to it. And it's like, if you played it as those weapons, they're, really, really boring. So, while fighting as a Sans character is really fun, the Kara team feels more flat than anything. Soul's got some small touches that make it a bit more bearable, which is pretty nice, actually. They got, they got a bunch of reworks, and, I think the Soul is pretty good for now. But they aren't managed enough to, make the Kara team great or give them, the overpowering benefit that I think they need. It's still balanced the way it is. The weapons are still work fine as the Sans team, and it's still balanced. Again, they work fine. It's just they're not very fun to use. So it's more often than not, you probably end up quitting after playing as Sans a few times. In conclusion, this game does very well with its reworked characters and small tweaks that has been done, but the rest of the game that hasn't been touched as much kind of kills the gameplay and becomes super lackluster. But it's okay, since this game seems to be more of a whip game than anything, and it's more of a work-in-progress project, which I like, and I'll want to keep updated on. Anyways, overall, I give this game a 7 out of 10. It's very good for what it is, but, it's still work in progress, so it's not done yet. But if you do want to play this game, it's in the description. You can go check it out. You can also join my Discord server if you want to. It's in the link in the description. So I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Yippee!